so now that we learned the basic technique for our Turkish get-up, let's talk about how we can incorporate it into your workouts as you're first learning it. So typically, when we have our clients build up towards the Turkish get-up, we're going to start them with this piece by piece first. So we kind of broke it into some distinct pieces when we were talking it through before, but let's just quickly recap here. So the very first part of the Turkish get-up was what we call our quarter get-up. So that's the one that's basically the rolling sit-up. And this is probably one of the very first things that we'll have our clients start to do just on its own. It can be the most challenging part of the movement, especially once we start to put more weight overhead. The end of the movement, when you're standing up from the ground, your legs are a lot stronger than typically your core is going to be on its own to start that movement. So we get lots of practice in with the quarter get up first, whether we start that unloaded or with a little bit of load, and just practicing that rolling sit up piece. So just up to the elbow and then pressing up to the forearm and back down to the ground. The second part of it from there was the bridge piece of this, and this is something that we can incorporate into our clients' programs just by working on regular bridges with them, or regular single leg bridges as well, as working on some of that hip mobility to make sure we have some rotation. So that's a piece that we don't typically work on too much on its own into that rotational plane. You can also start to build, once you've gotten used to your quarter get up, into what we would call a half get up. So the quarter get up plus that bridge position and then coming back down to the ground. And so that would look something like this, where we start with that quarter get up, so coming up to the forearm, pressing up to the hand, coming into that bridge, and then just back down to the ground from there. So we can always work on that as well. The other pieces that we're going to have in there after the bridge, one of them being that hinge position. And this is something that we get people to practice what's called our half kneeling windmill. So this could be part of their warm-up, just body weight, or we could have them do this as part of their workout with the weight held up overhead, but really just coming into that half kneeling position and practicing getting that hinge out to the side, so getting all that movement to the hips to bring us down to the ground and standing back up. So we may do this as part of their warm-up, just getting them to practice that hinge down and up. If they want a little bit more range, they can even tap towards the elbow to get some of that stretch. If we're going to do this loaded, then we're going to have that shoulder set up overhead. We're going to practice building that shoulder stability, and again, just getting that hinge out to the side, that soft tap down, and squeezing back and up to the top. And then of course the last part of the movement is actually standing up from the ground. So we could do this practicing through just regular step-ups or lunges, or we could practice getting up and down from the ground, again with that weight overhead, coming up to standing, and practicing coming back down, nice and safe.